The big story. What will we learn today from Devon Archer? Joining us to discuss that is former governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin. Welcoming, Governor. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much, Bianca and John.
Thank you. So obviously there was some scheduling issues, but this subpoena went out in June. Today's the big day. We know Devon Archer, not only was he on the board of Burisma, he's expected, Governor, to testify. A lot of information that may link Joe Biden as vice president to being on telephone calls, possibly in meetings. What are you hoping comes out of this testimony, closed door albeit, but important testimony today?
It is so important. However, Bianca, those who are characterizing this day as such a game changer, that things are really going to be shaken up after Devon Archer's testimony, and we do appreciate that we'll have information coming from that testimony. But the real game changer will be any kind of commitment from Congress, from those who hold the strings of what happens next in terms of holding anybody accountable. When there is action taken that shows that people are serious about this and that there are consequences for the misdeeds that I believe are going to be very, very apparent, very clear. So the game changer is going to be what happens after this testimony. Where's the commitment to hold those accountable?
Yeah, there's been talk, obviously, about impeachment inquiries. There's video of the president on the beach over the weekend, just relaxing, hanging out. So while the pressure is mounting in D.C., he will be off and take some summer relaxation time here. So pretty stunning contrast here. But in Maine on Friday, Governor, he was speaking to a small group about manufacturing jobs. He actually made a joke about possible impeachment. Let's play this.
The Washington Post suggested Republicans may have to find something else to criticize me for. Now that inflation is coming down.
And then he said there's talk about impeachment. I'd love to see that. I mean, it is those types of comments, and also going back and the comments he made where he said, my son never made money from China. Denies any involvement. These types of comments, obviously aren't sitting well with some of the Americans who are now looking at some real evidence, as you mentioned, that Congress could actually act on.
Right. And I think any reasonable and responsible American is beyond patient when it comes to the flippant comments and the flippant attitudes coming from the Biden family and from those in his circle of influence, because we know that there is corruption, there is misdeeds. Go to the tape. FBI has had Hunter's laptop for 4 years now and sat on it with clear evidence of criminalities of Hunter's. And then we have his dad, Joe, saying he has nothing to do with, say, the unethical business practices of Hunter's. And yet, go to the tape. We have photos of President Biden with Hunter and those business partners. There's been lie after lie, Bianca, and it's very frustrating for the American people. Lies have been told by Joe Biden since before y'all were born, but since about my second grade. He has been in political office, and he's been known for the plagiarism, for the lies, for the exaggerations, and yet the left and the media, they let him get away with it. The unfortunate thing here, especially in this case, Bianca, is that too many Americans legitimately feel that so much justice is delayed, which means justice is denied. And had we had more information, had the media been forthcoming with proof on tape, in photos, with documents, with very credible informants giving us information, had we had all that information, think of the impacts of all of the elections that Joe Biden has been involved in, how things would have changed.
Yeah. And I think also, too, the question now is if there is a potential bribe that a confidential human source, that 1023, is revealing, were there decisions made, policy decisions as a result, and was he compromised? I think that's really at the heart of a lot of this, too, in addition to, some of the things you note. Finally, I just want to get your reaction because, I always see you posting about your children, your beautiful family. And finally, on Friday, the Bidens finally acknowledged little Navy, their 7th grandchild. Of course, they did this with People magazine because, a reporter might actually do a little bit more digging. But, you know, part of the quote here, Governor, is that they're working to foster a relationship in the best interest of their daughter. I think that just smacks in, you know, the face of what really happened, that they want their best for our grandchildren, including Navy. They fought in court so she couldn't use the Biden name. Hunter Biden went to reduce his payments to her, despite the millions he was paid from foreign entities. I just found this statement so sad, so inauthentic, par for the course of, you know, with the Bidens, though. What's your take on that?
Well, it pulls on the heartstrings of anyone who has children and grandchildren, and how, well, we do want the best for them. And I don't know, they're missing out on that seventh grandchild not having the involvement with, hopefully from henceforth, they will start having.
Let's hope so. And maybe a little education fund for her and make sure she's taken care of. It would be good. Governor Sarah Palin joining us today. Thanks so much. Always a pleasure to see you. Appreciate your insight into Devon Archer's testimony today on the Hill. Good to see you.
You bet. Thank you so much.